What's up guys, Nightingale here and welcome back to another video. Today, we're celebrating 1 year of Epic 7. Today, a year ago, 366 days ago, yes, 365 because today we're starting day 1 of year 2. A year ago, we started playing Epic 7. And what a journey it's been. After our first 100 days, we created the adventure, or the beginner's handbook. Started helping you guys progress after my first 100 days. Then we progressed further into the game. We got around 6 months, did a 6-month checkup. And then after that, we started the Adventurer's Black Book, getting in towards the later game stuff. And here we are, 1 year later. Gonna talk about some stuff, go over some things, talk about what's changed, what hasn't changed, and really just want to give you guys a perspective from a complete beginner. Meaning I started from zero. I had no prior experience. I had chat helping me out along the way. But I'm gonna give you some stuff, some tips, some stuff, just in general information about progression and what I would maybe do different, what I would change, things along that. We're just really gonna just have an interesting little video here. So if this isn't really what you're after, great. You're welcome to move on and go find another video. But if you're curious about what 1 year of Epic 7 was like for me, hang out. I'm gonna try to put some timestamps. I'm gonna try to keep things concise and put into general topics. Basically, I want to kind of just go over the account, what we've kind of achieved. Then I'm going to talk about some things that I learned along the way that I wish I maybe would have known later. And then I'm going to talk about the future of the account and where we're wanting to go and how we're wanting to go about it. So let's jump into it and let's talk about the overall account. So 366 days old today. We've come a long way. We hit 60 relatively early. I have that Epic 7 log right here. So let me just click over here. It got reset earlier. So we started, actually, technically we started February 22nd, but I don't count it because I started it on my phone. And I went through the basic tutorial just to see if it was something that I wanted to stream, you know, a year ago. Decided, why not? We'll give it a shot. And I got up that next morning on February 23rd, and here we go. I installed BlueStacks. We rolled Sigurd, not realizing that's what we wanted. I was just like, hey, it's a girl with a scythe and glasses, waifu, let's roll. I'm taking her. And then we started during an event just like this. We had a 10 summoning event right now, like we got going on right now. And we pulled Judge Kisei off of that. I remember going through the tutorial and going like, please, let me get this unit at some point. And well, the game was like, here you go, start with it. All right. Well, unfortunately, I didn't track too well again until the end of March. But that's fine. I'm not really worried about the beginning of the game so much. There were some milestones, but nothing really major. Yeah, we pulled some units along the way from tickets and stuff like that, but there was nothing major. I don't remember any big major milestones. But yeah, the beginning of the game was interesting. It definitely was... It took me a minute to get used to this because, again, I came from 7 Deadly Sins. I'd been playing other 3D-based games or other true 3D world games, Assassin's Creed, or, yeah, because we played some Valhalla, we played some Odyssey, you know, Destiny, things like that. So I was used to the 3D environment. I mean, I was a Black Desert slave for years prior to that, so I was definitely used to a 3D world. So getting used to a 2D side-scrolling game took a little bit of getting used to, but I will say this game has really become something truly amazing to me in terms of the visual aspects of it. They've done such a great job with the sprites, and then you go click on the units themselves and the actual live 2D images of them are fantastic. We've got so many characters here that have just great character design, and it's been something that's been really cool to watch develop as we pull units and see really what cool character designs this game has, and it's been something that I've really enjoyed about it because it doesn't feel stale and cookie cutter. They even know you can only come up with so many different combinations. Each time they come up with a new unit, there's something a little bit cooler or unique that makes them go, oh wow, that's actually really cool. One thing that's happened is, I don't really know the proper term for it, but they're starting to bring in more animal-based characters. So recently we just got, Pyra, I have no idea how we actually say her name. We call her Pyra on stream, Pyra on stream. But I mean, this is something that they're adding. So you've got wolf mommy milkers right here, and yeah, cool unit. I don't really use her a whole lot, but definitely cool for what she does. I'm working on just hit friendship 10 with her. But like they're starting to bring in characters like this. And they brought in, what was his name? Januta. Just actually pulled him today on stream. Is he a warrior or a knight? This 3-star? Yeah, so I mean, like they're coming up and so the character design's consistently evolving and coming in, which is cool. They have mech-based characters, you know, robotic-based characters, and it's neat. They're also bringing in, you know, they've brought in 2 new slime, or they brought in a slime collab and a ReZero collab, along with the pretty much, I would say, guaranteed Guilty Gear collab, which we're about to get a rerun of that here soon. So they're definitely expanding upon their collabs, which is cool. Means you can potentially see some of your favorite things in here. Games because of Guilty Gear and animes because of Slime and ReZero. So there's definitely a lot of cool stuff coming here. And they did a really good job with, I think, all of the collabs. I think out of all of them, ReZero felt forced because there's a theory, but I'm not going to go into it here. But basically, ReZero was an afterthought is what it felt like. And Slime felt like the actual collab. But that's a whole other story for a whole other day. Come hang out with me on Twitch and we'll talk about it. But overall, though, ReZero was still fun. It was neat. I didn't pull for the units because I was in a position where I was too deep in trying to mola other units that I would rather take the gamble on it. Have I missed out on anything? I don't feel like I have. Sure, Amelia's cool, Rem's neat. I got Ram because she was free, but that was the only one I skipped. It didn't work out for me in terms of resources, so I had to skip. But overall, what have we been able to accomplish in a year? Because this is something I wanted to talk about, and this is really kind of like, I guess, a letter for new players. Is here I am a year later, going back against my progress, and I want to talk about what we've accomplished. It wasn't easy, nor was it fun to a point. I mean, it kind of was fun, but we worked really hard to be able to one-shot all 5 hunts. This took a lot of sacrifice, I'm not gonna lie. I sacrificed a good several PvP units to be able to build this because of the speeds and the things like that, just to be able to speed tune, take gear, make higher DPS stuff. But we now have all hunts one-shottable, which I have those guides are in the the Adventurer's Black Book, and I will be continuing in going in more depth into that guide system. I just wanted to get the one-shots done. I've got Gearing 301 I want to get in there, which is going to be coming hopefully here in the next month. To start raising the bar a little bit further for you guys. We conquered all the normal hunts as far as I was able. The only one I never actually fully did normal was Banshee. Banshee was the only hunt I came immediately into one-shotting. I never did a normal farm. But we normal farmed Wyvern, we normal farmed Golem, we normal farmed Azmonak, we normal farmed Cades, and I can definitely tell you this. Out of all of them, Banshee is the easiest barrier of entry to get into one-shots, and honestly, don't even think about trying to do it. Do the normal hunt of it. If you happen to start soon, and as of right now, it's February 23rd, 2022, so if you start in the next couple weeks before the Guilty Gear rerun happens, Biken's going to be available, makes it really, really easy to get into Banshee one-shot at that point. I mean, really early into doing it. I think I had Banshee one-shot a little less than 6 months, which we'll look at the... Here in just a minute, I'll go over the actual log and kind of read through some stuff with you. But it's very easy. Wyvern was probably theoretically the next easiest looking back at it, if I would have known the information that I needed on the front end of things. Golem was literally just drag and drop because it just so happened to be I had everything built. And it worked. And the only thing I actually had to change is I needed to slow Roz down at the time, which I don't think he needs now. But at the time, I had to slow Roz down and juice Vivian's damage to shoot wave 1. But other than that, if I had to tell myself in the past, any advice from today, don't worry about Azmonak one-shot unless you do have strays. This is absolutely a very toxic one-shot. This one fails the most, and it's the most tuned I can get it. Just due to the fact I have to have target, I have to have the defense break, and if either one of those messes up, this thing is just a crapshoot. As far as Cades, I still am glad I did it because there's a lot of value I want out of Cades. But I think if you're an average player, you don't need to one-shot this one. This one just makes it better for trying to amass a large amount of crafting materials during hunt buffs, but this is another one that you really, it's gonna suck no matter what. But if without a team tuned properly, this is just another one of those that's just a pain in the butt. Golem, Wyvern, and Banshee are probably the most stable of them all because of its clear a wave and then hit the boss, where the others is, yes, it's clear a wave, but then you have to have so many different benchmarks for me on Azmonak, but I'm done with. I don't need to go back to Azmonak. But Katie's, I actually have to kill 2 physical bosses. So if I miss the defense break on one and the target on one, or yeah, if I miss the defense break and target on both, they're kind of screwed, but there's a whole thing. If you want to come hang out on Twitch, we'll talk about how it actually succeeds more than it fails, but I still fail the one-shot aspect of it. So we had conquered that. We beat all of the Labyrinths in a year. We started consistently doing Hell Raid, I would say about 6 months in. So I think I'm on my 6th, 7th Hell Raid now. So it took about 6 months to get the units built up to do it. Not necessarily get the units, but just get the units built up and finally just figuring out how to do it. I've been trying to do a Hell Raid guide, and every time I do it, I forget something. And I'm trying to get it out. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to write down a bazillion notes this time, and I'm going to get it out right so that you guys can have a proper Hell Raid guide. As far as looking back, I would tell myself to start focusing on Nyx Seed sooner than I did, but this is something I typically started preaching in the adventure or in the beginner's handbook. I think I started, if not I think I'm pretty sure I talk about it in the intermediate traveler's guide. But if not, I talk about it all the time on stream, is get into Nyx Seed as soon as you can, get it cleared to where it's unlocked, and start working on clearing out the 5 Nyx Seeds, because the Nyx Seed 5 set, still to this day, is still something massive for new players. The set is busted as far as what you get. You get an amazing crit and destruction piece set. Just hopefully yours rolls more offensive stats and not defensive stats, aka health, or effectiveness. And you actually can get something truly usable out of this. I've got several pieces I still use today. But this is something that I would definitely tell myself to go back and work on and focus on a little bit more. A little bit harder. We also 100%ed everything else inside of the normal Labyrinths, which was cool. Automaton Tower, I only do 4s because of stream. If I wasn't playing on stream and trying to get things done in a specific amount of time, I would be doing 5s. I can clear them, but it takes a little bit longer, and I'm trying to make sure that when I'm on stream, I keep my content to certain time ranges so that I'm able to do as much as I possibly can. I don't feel that the rewards are super... How to put this without offending people. I don't feel like the rewards are really worth the time investment into it. So, yeah, they're better than 4, but I'm going... I don't really need it, though. It's not going to game break anything I'm doing. So, I'll eventually do 5s, but right now, I'm not really worried about it. I get the rough same amount of rewards, and I'm just trying to get it done for the Molagora and Skystones. That's really it. That's all I really care about. I don't care about anything else. It just amasses over time. But I could beat 5. It's not that I can't beat it. I completely can. It's just the time investment into it. I would rather work on other stuff on stream to be able to keep things going. Some people do it on stream, but I don't want to dedicate my stream to it, if that makes sense. Hall of Trials, we've done several of these. As you can see, I've got a double S here off of me not even trying this week. It was just a random team that said, let's just see what happens, and I went with it, and I got double S, and I was like, all right, it's good enough for me. I don't care. But everything else, I can score double S, triple S plus if I want to. I will probably work on this year on maybe looking at the Dagger Sakars for these. I'm not super, concerned about it. It's not really... It's a flex at this point, more than it is necessity. But if something I would tell myself is maybe try to score a little bit better early on, because you're going to constantly be going... You're unit locked, okay? So let's put it that way. But I would tell myself to try to score a little bit better, to try to see if you could get a little more tokens, because it is free entries as many times as you want to enter it. It's frustrating. There's some RNG in it, but I think now looking back, it wouldn't necessarily make a huge difference, but it might help. As far as getting the wisdom gazes, I mean, I haven't really struggled with it. I kind of get to the point where maybe I don't really need you know, to worry about exclusive equipments as much anymore. I can start amassing these, or maybe I could start working on other artifacts or things like that. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to start scoring better here soon, just so that we can get the artifacts, so that we can do more damage in Hall of Trials. I need to get another violin, and there's a few other exclusive equipments I would like to get for a few units I just don't have. But once we get past that, depending on who's getting their exclusive equipments as they release them will determine on how deep I need to go. I've had to replace several people's exclusive equipments more than once because of changing functions. So like, I spent a lot trying to get Clarissa. I spent a lot trying to get Sigrid. And I ended up having to replace them to max for one-shots. So let that kind of be like a lesson is, I think I also accidentally worked my butt off trying to get Troublemaker Crozette's perfect EE, and then I accidentally deleted it, I think, to somebody else's, not paying attention that that was the good one. So I had to go back and do that again. What else have we conquered? We got up to Abyss 100, and then my mentality of effort over rewards, it definitely kicked in, because I don't give a flying crap about anything from here on. Sure, that's 15 gold transmit stones. Congrats on your 3 stars of slate. I don't really care. If I wanted a unit imprinted, I'll do it. And honestly, this offends a lot of people, but I'm sorry. The speed set here, if you can reach this content, you don't need that speed set. Let's be real. The people who actually needed that reward needed to be way further up. I'm sorry. This was way more advantageous speed set to give it up 50 floors up. Would have been way better for somebody. Or in the 80s, 90s. This set would have been so much better, in my opinion, for them. It's a great set, but it's not... I have speed sets better than this. And that's kind of the mentality of where I'm at. I don't really need it. I'm not caring. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time to RNG on this. The leaves are cool. The transmits are cool. Mystics don't care about. The Reforged mats don't care about. The Moligors, I'd rather buy them. I mean, if you want to be honest, I know somebody's going to say, well, there's 10 Moligors. I'd rather buy this. I'm sorry. The time it's going to take me to do that, I'd rather earn the money and just buy that. Point blank. Spirit Altar we maxed, or we've been able to farm max. We've even got, Christmas, we got the Triple S Spirit Altar pet, which was cool. So all I need now is the Adventure and the Lobby one, which I have technically the Lobby one. I just don't know which one I want to commit to, which version of it. But yeah, we were able to do Spirit Altar, and they've changed this around since I started playing. But we got the Triple S pet here, which is cool. Nothing really's changed here as far as like what I would do different. So we were able to do a lot of that. As far as side story stuff, we did invest into a couple of the Book of Memories. I did a small miracle so that I could get a card of small miracles for my one-shot team. I did update it as far as since I made the one-shot comp because I needed Warhorn for somebody else. So I haven't started this in all reality. I've done just the basics just to get it unlocked, but I haven't gone any deeper. And then we did Cirilla, which I do not regret whatsoever. We've had her actually since March 22nd, 2021. We've done a lot of really cool things over the year. So Plot Hunter was able to hit, I think right after Christmas, we hit Plot Hunter to level 20, which was really awesome. We've done really, really well. Had a lot of really great people come through here. It's really been a blast. I'm excited to see where it's going to grow and go next. We ended up creating Thicker Plot and Thick Plot for stream, and then we ended up needing it even further that we created Plots Are Us. Unfortunately, we had to scrap Plots Are Us to save Thicker and Thick Plot. Just the overall morale of the game has dropped, and people are less coming in to stream asking for new guilds, so I've been having to keep it into Thicker and Thicker Plot. We also have an EU guild, which I oversee, but don't have any direct interaction with right now because there's no need for it. But we have Apple Plot. So in reality, at the highest peak, I had 5 active guilds of near 30 members in all 5 guilds, which was really, really cool. I'm really thankful for everybody who came and wanted to be a part of the Plot Hunter community, and that's really, really awesome, and I really am thankful for you guys. Let's talk about PvP for a second. Why not? So, I haven't gone any higher than Challenger 5. I think I went maybe Challenger 4 in Arena, but I don't care. Arena is literally just beat RNG. Well, if we go here, this is actually the players. This is just beat bots. There's nothing satisfying about this. If this is your favorite content, I'm sorry. It doesn't really do anything for me. It's a cool place to test your units out and builds, but it's not like anything that really is like, it's not a flex thing for me. Look, I've played PvP games since, oh god, I can honestly, let's see, PlayStation 2, I had internet access on it, and I was playing, I think, like, whatever, GoldenEye or Bond game that had PvP on it, or playing, you know, GoldenEye on Nintendo 64, or Super Nintendo playing Mario Kart. You know, I mean, so I've had certain player versus player interactions, but at this point, PvP doesn't really strike me as a big thing, at least when it comes to Arena. But one thing I think I will try to do is we might actually see if we can go do the Legend push just for the Skystones once, and then I'll drop out and maintain wherever I maintain, whether it's Champion or Challenger, I won't care. If it maintains this automatically, cool. If not, I don't care. I can drop down to here and really won't care about the weekly, the difference in 200 Skystones a week. Sure, that's great for some people, but I'm not going to sit here and push into this just to get 1,000 Skystones a week. Not worth it for me. But I will see if I can push up here to see if I can get the initial promotion rewards once, I think, this year, because I've got a couple ideas and been told a couple comps that work really well that I actually own. So if it works and I can abuse it because people are just dumb and they set up the same defenses all the time, why not? Because that's, I mean, that's a couple thousand Skystones that we can go use for something else. And then as far as World Arena, or RTA, we got last season to Challenger. Almost Champion. I didn't care to push any further because I already got what I needed. I got the Judge Kisei skin, and I dipped. I didn't care. All I did was maintain the account. That's all I did. Maintain. And that's what we're doing here. I don't care. I'm maintaining. Tomorrow I'll take one more fight, and I'm done for the rest of the season. I'll get the RB skin, even though I don't like it, but I'll get it. And we'll go from there. And this has been interesting, and this is kind of what my focus is for the next year, which we'll talk about in just a second. The next thing we want to go over is, as far as story, we beat all the story up to, really, through episode 1 of chapter 4. I've 100%ed absolutely everything. So episode 1, epilogue 2, and 3 are 100% beat. All Skystones have been farmed out of it. And then I'm honestly waiting for episode 4 to get a little more than over halfway done, and then I'll start working on it. Because to me, there's no point in just banging through the story as soon as it comes out. Aiden's gonna change 100 different times in and out of this, supposedly, and I'm not really caring until this is almost done to where we can get the final result. I need the Skystones desperately, or the Molagora, or whatever's in here. I'm gonna wait till it's almost done, so probably around August I'll start hitting this and finishing this off, burning through it pretty quick, because I don't really care. It's a great story, don't get me wrong. For those, it's a great story, but I just don't care to bother with it right now. I'd rather work on other things than sit here, read story on stream, because I feel like that's boring to you guys, so I try to do that off stream. A lot of people talk about my Skystones and want to know what's up with that and why I have so many. Well, if you go back and watch through all my videos, I've had a pretty good amount of Skystones on my account from the beginning. Partially just because I know how to break games. I go in and I figure out how the economy works and how to abuse it as best as possible to make it work the best I can for myself. I also don't have the itch to instantly come in here and summon on absolutely every brand new unit that shows up on this banner. There are some people who literally cannot control themselves, and they're consistently summoning every new unit. I pop in chat and I can see them summoning in our guild. I see it in the show off your summons. There are some people who cannot control themselves. I think I have a pretty good handle on excuse me, on when to summon and when not to summon for units. Tomorrow we'll actually be summoning for one that's technically kind of a should I or should I not, but there's some things that this unit's going to answer, so I'm willing to take the dive into and see what's up. Another thing we should talk about is the Mystic Banner stuff. We've had some okay luck between the Mystic Banner and the Moonlight Summons, and this is one thing I wanted to kind of bring up as we wrap up the end of kind of talking about the overview of the account and where we've come is the ML5s, because I feel like a lot of people want to compare their MLs to based upon how well they're progressing. Well, let me say this to start off with. it shouldn't matter what MLs you have or don't have. One of the things that's unique about them, the big thing that I think a lot of new players need to understand, is these are literally just tight neutral units to your RGB units. That's the biggest thing you should have. Yes, they typically have slightly better skills because they're slightly rarer, but these aren't absolute, completely 100% must-have units. You can probably work around it. Yes, your life may be a little bit harder in the long run, but you don't necessarily always have to have them. Now, that being said, there's many units out there that are amazing and cool, and you just really, really want them. So, we flexed in our first 100 days that we had 5 ML5s. We had Arby, Ruel, Stenny, Arby, and Judge Kisei. I literally had 5 of the 6 of the Moonlight Blessing characters. Now, actually, I think I ended up having 6. Hold on. Let me go to the thing. So here's, first 100 days was right here. We beat, no. Okay, no, I had 6, because, Little Queen Charlotte was the 5th. So yes, I had 6 ML5s in my first 100 days. What has changed since the first 100 days? We added in Conqueror Lilius. We added in Specimen Says, which I'll go ahead and cover them as we go through this. Conqueror Lilius was a random 10 pull inside of her banner. We got Spez off of a Galaxy bookmark. Little Spirit Eye Celine we got off of a random 10 pull on her banner. Of course, Ruel was Galaxy bookmarks. I used my Belly and Pity to get Apocalypse Ravi, so this was a Mystic banner unit. Designer Lilibet was through daily summons during one of the summon events. We got Arbiter Vildred was my Moonlight Blessing character. Archdemon Mercedes was a random summon through random 10 pull on Covenants on stream. We just said screw it. Spectre Tenebria was also a Galaxy bookmark summon early on in the game. Then we got ML Ken was the other, he was the other daily ML summon, so we only had 2 daily Moonlights, 3. Judge Kisei was the other. So Judge Kisei, Moonlight Ken, and Designer Lilibet were the only ones I pulled in an entire year out of Covenant summons. Out of daily summons, not counting Archdemon Mercedes. Archdemon Mercedes also came out of Covenants, but I went in, specifically clicked, said screw it, and went for it. Spark Purple, it turned out to be her. Who else did we end up getting was Spirit Ice, or Lionheart Sermia. I did another screw it pull and we got her. So, I don't have the gear on the account to even remotely get close to building this unit, so she's down here. I know some people are enjoying her. I don't care. I'll get the gear eventually, but it just does. I've tried using Fribbles. It does not exist unless I steal, I think, my top 7 defense-based PvE gear things is what basically it's on, is they're on PvE units to be able to take those. I can't do it. I cannot. I need those for one shot. So yeah, we walked away with a decent amount of ML5s in a year. Do I really think that this is something you should benchmark your account on? Not really. Honestly, they're all situationally good depending on where you want to go. I stopped using Spez a long time ago. I'm just now starting to use Spirit Eye Celine a little bit. I used Ruel, and I use Ruel all over the place. I absolutely love having this unit. Apocalypse Ravi I'm starting to use more. Designer Lilibet just got a buff, so I'm trying to try her out and see what's going on here. RB still my farmer. Archdemon Mercedes, I love dropping in Guild Wars. You guys can see it all the time. I completely stopped using Spectre Tenebria. I don't like her kit, really, for anything I do. I also just don't have the gear on my account right now to try any builds that I want. I don't have the gear for a revenge. This isn't even her build. This is just me storing random gear on her. But I don't have the gear for a revenge build. I don't have a gear for a lifesteal build. I don't have it for speed build. I don't have a counter build. I don't have any, like, there's nothing on my account that makes, I don't even have the triple crown. So like an immunity pen or just some sort of double dual set. I don't have anything like that. So I've given up on trying to build her for now, and we'll get back to her someday when the gear shows up. But she's too stat hungry for anything I need. I don't find a necessity. Again, people love the crap out of this unit, and they'll tell beginners in a heartbeat to pull this unit or to select this unit. But in the end, it comes down to this unit's a little harder to gear and keep alive than it is anything else. As far as units though go, cool milestone we hit as well was I was able to obtain 60 6-star units in a year. Now, I did do one today on stream, so could technically say it was 59, but technically in reality it's 66 stars in a year. And I don't know if this is a useful stat for anybody, but I just wanted to let you know that in the beginning it's going to feel really hard to get a 6-star unit, but here's something that I want to make sure really gets stressed to new players, especially if you've hung in here this long, you've been listening to kind of my progression and where things go. Don't stress out about getting the units as much as it is getting the gear and getting the resources to build the unit. That is way more important, because here's the thing. If we go talk about a unit right now, as I was just sitting on, here is the prime example of me not having either the gear or the resources to build it. Now, could I 6-star this unit right here on the spot? Absolutely. I could level this up. I could go in and I could throw in the 5 dogs that I have, which you can't see until she's level 50. But I could 50 her right now, throw the five dogs in there, turn her 6-star, and probably get her 5-star awakened right here on the spot. What I don't have is the gear, the molas. I'm broke. When it comes to Molagoras, I'm broke now at this point. We got plenty of penguins. That's not the issue. But when it comes to molas, I've got 12. Tomorrow's side story will drop. I'll have a few more. I've got a couple more from the guild event, so I've technically got a few more molas, but I don't have the molas to even work on her. There's no point in me building her. You'll obtain the units before you'll be able to build the units. That's going to be the thing that I've learned, I think, the most here. And I still even have Koeric at 5 stars, Fairy Tale Tenny that we pulled on at 5 stars, Vildred I pulled off of a ticket, Araminta, I don't remember where you came from, Shu I don't care about one bit, and Pavel I still haven't built because I don't care about speed. But when you go through and you look at units, it's like you'll obtain them long before you can gear them. And when it comes to gearing, I want you to understand that you're going to amass a large amount of gear over a year. And look, my Arby is now using random 70 gear that I had from the beginning of the game. I'm still using some of it randomly. Why? It's just because it was a speed piece with crit damage and 12 speed on it. But I still use it today. We've geared a lot of units, and a lot of them are really well geared. But it also comes down to, I could probably make some of these other units usable, but they're either going to be too squishy to take into PvP, they're either not quite damaging enough to take into some of the PvE content, so there's no real point. But we've put on a crap ton of gear on a lot of units over this year. I've tried out some interesting builds, I've tried out some weird builds, and I've tried out some, let's see what random thing I can come up with type builds. And then I've also gone along with some semi-meta builds. But as you can see, I've got a lot of gear sitting on a lot of units that is not counted in that gear calculator. I think when I scan it in Fribbles, I have over 700 pieces of gear. That's a lot of gear, not counting what I've thrown away. I did it one day on stream just to kind of trigger people. I went in and I deleted every purple piece of gear I had in Revenge, Injury, and Pen. Because I got to the point where it was like, it wasn't good enough, and I kept passing through it, not wanting to take a look at it. I built every unit I wanted off of it. I'm like, all right, that tells me something that if I won't look at any of this other gear while I was building these units, then it's not good enough for me to build for anybody else from here on out. So we've got gear sitting on people. It's going to keep getting moved around, yeah. The one build I wish I'd actually truly been able to gotten to see was this Destino one. Oh my god, this thing was toxic, but I never got a chance to try it out. Because I just didn't have the molas to invest into her. So, new players, take this advice of you're not gonna always have access to the new unit right away. and be able to build it. To me, that's one of the biggest caveats of this game is it makes you think that the unit is more important because if they call it limited, or they'll say the players are gonna be like, it's a must-have. It's a must-have if you have the gear and you have the resources to build them. If you don't, it's just gonna sit there collecting dust. I've got several of them. The final thing I think I'll mention before we move on to the what I would change stuff, or kind of what I would do differently now, is we also were able to, I think the last benchmark we should talk about is I've got all my Expo teams built up. Definitely want to say big thanks to Counter Sermia for taking the time to help me go over these and develop these. I had some working teams, but it was a little bit of theory crafting, bouncing around some ideas off of him and seeing kind of what I really had. And we were able to do level 3 Expos, finally, but I can dominate level 2s. I just delayed doing this. A lot of you newer players can get into level 3s a lot easier than me. I stalled out. I didn't care. I was more worried about other stuff. Okay, so as far as going, what I would do different, I think the biggest things looking back would be I wouldn't worry so much about unit collection to a certain degree. There were a few units I probably shouldn't have pulled for that just showed up naturally a little bit, not too much longer after that. When we had, like, if I look at the log here, I know we pulled for Rowana, or yeah, physically pulled for Rowana. We ended up getting several dupes of her, but I had to have her because she was part of the Infinity Gauntlet, or the Waifu Gauntlet, I should say. There have been some units that, like Ilyanov, I pulled for her. She was cool, but in the end, we really haven't used her at all. I pulled for Iceria because she was so rare at the time. But in Bassar at the time was good, but he's fallen off so much at this point. There's some out here. I'm happy that we picked up Luna. We triple S'd her when she came out. We got Landy. Let's see here. We got the Katie stuff, F10. F10's kind of one of those that I picked up for collections, but I really don't see any value for her for what I do. Other than to say I've got her and I never have to pull on her banner again. It really comes down to that. I would try to do it a little more efficiently in terms of... I think I did a fairly well job leveling up and getting into the right things. But now when I look at the beginner's handbook, I'm going, yeah, if I would have followed this step, I probably could have done this a little bit sooner. And a lot of you have come through and really actually said that, which really does mean a lot that you guys have taken the advice of the beginner's handbook and followed it as hard as you did, and watching where you've come from. It's really actually kind of awesome. I guess to wrap this up is to talk about where we're going to go. So we've been at this a year. What next? Well, today's day 1 of year 2. Where we're going to head to and what we're going to try to get, or day 1 of heading to year 2 is what I should say. Right now, my main focus, and I talk about this on stream a lot, is it's about getting my gear quality up. The overall actual gear quality. I'm not going to no longer really work on trying to get every unit that shows up. I have the resources at this point to do whatever I want. If there's a unit that comes out and I think that they're going to help me in a situation or fix an answer to a situation or give me something fun to work on, if I have the spare resources, I will do that. But as far as most units that just show up now, probably they're going to go through the skip function for me. I don't need the units. I really need gear. I need gear quality at this point, which is something that we're really going to stress about in 301. Is getting higher quality gear and also getting more diverse gear. One of the things that I talk about is speed is no longer king. People are going to disagree on this, but I have my reasons for looking at that. Speed is important as far as the actual set. It's one of the best sets out there in the game to give you a lot of different stuff. but everybody cannot be on the same thing and call themselves unique. If you want to catch somebody off guard, there's a lot of surprise factors that can come from a lot of different pieces, and if you build them properly, you can get away with these. We also have some stuff that's about to happen that may shake up the meta due to what Smilegate's been talking about with their PvP balances and stuff. So I'm not like in a super rush to just jump down, but there are things that I would like to get. I'd like to clean up my revenge stuff, start trying to get more of that. We've only been in it just a few months, so we really don't have high quality revenge gear yet. So I'm working on that. I'm working on trying to get pen stuff because immunity is truly, to me, dead at this point. There's nothing it really benefits from. Other than adding an extra layer of RNG. Cool, I don't care. I'd rather put the stats into something else more important. Getting my Banshee gear up would be great. I struggle with lifesteal. I don't know if you guys struggle with it as much as I do, but I think lifesteal is one of that few sets that no matter how hard I farm Banshee, I just don't get those resources. And then when I do get them, it's trolling me with all flat stats, and it's just like, this is not usable. So lifesteal is something I really would like to try to get better gear quality of. We're going to go into Golem some to try to get some really nice red pieces out of that at some point. Wyvern's kind of dead to me at this point, but I do need to get in and get some reforged materials because there are some things that I would like to make and keep fast. But I'm not all about every unit I need to build has to be some astronomical speed. I don't need every unit out there at 230, 240. Great, come at me with your speed units. I don't care. I will tank it, and I will absolutely decimate you in turn 2. Not that I want to be a complete turn 2 gamer, but if you can play it right, they can go fast all day long. Cool. Your speed will mean nothing. All that effort into that one playstyle will come back to bite you in the butt. Having a variety of different things built and different concepts of builds will really play out truly in the end, and that's something that I'm going to be working to show you probably at the beginning of year 3. So this year is going to be about gear quality and also building up the units that I already have and building new units as they come about that, again, fix answers or fix problems. I will be going into those. Moonlights, I don't really care about. As I show up, great. I'm going forward. The only Moonlight I really want to see what their kit is Moonlight Vivian, or potentially if Moonlight Luna is a thing, I would like to see kind of the direction of that, but Vivian is definitely one I really want to see what they're going to do with her kit. Other than that, no other of the waifu gauntlet girls do I actually care about. We're still waiting for OpSig. We don't have her, but that's just going to be a unit that shows up when it shows up. I'm not going to go super, super hard trying to chase after her. I would rather go for a new ML5 than a old rerun that I can eventually buy or summon out of something random. Molagoras are going to definitely be the bane of my existence for the next year. I've already kind of looked at it, and I'm scared to say that it's already like at a 7-month trend if I actually try to level up everything I want to level up to the point I want it leveled up. 7 months, and I'm still not even putting a dent in it. But yeah, we're going to make it happen. It's going to be a lot of Molagoras. We're going to be very careful with where we put those. Very curious to see the balance changes. That's why I'm also going to kind of chill and just farm up quality for a while. I'd say probably my next 6 months is just about gear quality. And then we'll worry about the unit quality later on, because we do have a mass roster. We have almost obtained literally everything. We're at 192 out of 245, and that's counting specialty changes and some collab units, and obviously I'll forever never have Kazuna AI because I didn't play when she was existing, or they were giving her out, so I will never have that on my account unless they decide to give that away again for whatever random reason. So I'll be one short even if I was to have absolutely everything. And assuming the other collab units get rerun that I missed, so the ReZero stuff. But we have just about everything as far as collected. We're just missing some Moonlight characters and a few RGBs that just haven't shown up through daily summons. Other than that, I own all the limiteds that are currently out, besides the collab units and Summer Area. That was the only one I skipped. But my advice to anybody who's watched it all the way to the end, first off, thank you guys for hanging out on this video. But yeah, it's a crazy journey. You've got to pace yourself. I'm used to playing games super hard and games that have a higher difficulty like this when it comes to gearing and things like that. I definitely understand this is not something for everybody. And I've seen a lot of burnout from players who thought they had it in them, and some players who had no idea what they were getting into. But this game has a lot of fun. The story's amazing. I really wish they would give it an anime. I really enjoy the community that I get to hang out with Monday through Saturday on Twitch. I wish more of you guys from YouTube would come hang out. But I know for some of you, your time schedules just don't work out, and I get it. But I'm glad that you guys here on YouTube come in and watch videos and hang out with me here. I greatly appreciate that as well. That really does mean a lot, and I try to enjoy talking with as many of you and try to interact with everybody when you guys leave comments. So, I definitely appreciate all of that support. To all of you guys that go out there and dislike the videos, great, cool. The only thing I wish you guys would do would tell me why you disliked it. That's the only thing. It's like, that's the only thing. It's like, okay, so what did I do wrong? Or do you just not like the opinion? Whatever. You know, that's the only thing I wish with some of the guys that go out there and dislike it. Just tell me what's up. Say why you didn't like it. Too long of a video. Great. If you guys don't realize by now, I'm the king of long videos because I want to make sure you get the right information. In terms of this video, I know it's long, but I just wanted to come hang out with you guys and go over my year with you guys. So yeah, it's going to be a long video for this. As far as my guides, when it comes to those, I want to make sure you have all the information that you possibly need, because I hated looking at those guides when I was trying to start. My God, they were so scattered in their information, or they didn't talk at all. They didn't tell me why they were doing it. I want to make sure you guys know exactly why you're doing things. When we talk about guides, we want to go all in on it, which is why I've redone the stupid hell guide like 5 times. One of them against my will, because I accidentally deleted it, because I actually had it what I thought was right. But now I can't seem to get it right. So we'll see when that comes out. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for all the time that you guys have put into watching the videos, coming and hanging out with me on Twitch, supporting me through Epic 7 for year 1. Here we go. We're kicking off year 2. I'm excited. I'm ready to get in and see what's going to change on the account by this time next year. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any more account-based videos. I might do a quarterly-based thing and just do account check-ins, but honestly, I think you can kind of get that through the guides. I don't plan on stopping. I try to keep things up to date as best as I can for you guys. If something changes, my opinion changes, or the process changes, I try to make sure that the guides are going to stay up to date, that you guys are informed with the latest and greatest information here of Epic 7. So I don't think I necessarily feel like I need to do any more account-based progressions, because we kind of, I guess you could say this is a celebratory milestone of we hit a year. You've watched me from 100 days to now 365, 366 actually, of being able to progress throughout the game. But we'll see. We'll throw it in there. You guys can suggest if you want to see another 180 days from this. Cool, I'll do it. I'm okay with that. But I'm going to keep you guys, you know, as best in the loop as I can with information as far as where I'm going in the account. If something changes, you guys will know. I'm not going to leave you out of the loop. I really do appreciate absolutely everything. I really cannot stress that enough. Every single one of you that commented, liked, spent a minute watching my video or every video all the way to the end. I really do greatly appreciate that. Thank you again to everybody who's watched every single one of my streams that came in and hung out. I know there's a few of you that may be silent. I've watched every single stream. There may be a few of you that just joined yesterday. But thank you to everyone, you know, as far as Twitch community goes. You guys are awesome. You've been there cheering it on since day one. And I'm not ready to stop. This is one game I'm truly passionate about. My opinions are probably too crass. I don't know the exact word for that, but my opinions are probably a little too bold for me to be able to be an Epic 7 content creator, like an official one. And that's fine. I don't care. I'd rather just be able to speak my mind completely and be able to say, if this game sucks, I want to be able to tell them point blank, I will tell it to your face if this game ever goes to crap. If I really think this game goes to crap, I did it with Epic 7, or 7 Deadly Sins, I will do it with Epic 7 in a heartbeat. Did it also with Marvel Future Fight. As soon as it goes to crap, I will tell you point blank. Do I agree with everything they do? No. Do I agree with, think that they could do things better? Absolutely. There are things on both sides of that spectrum. But as of right now, the meta doesn't bother me. I don't care one bit. I'm willing to take the challenge on head first. It's not going to deter me. I played Black Desert for 4 years. I've got no soul left. There's nothing you can throw at me that will scare or intimidate me in this case. So, but seriously, thank you guys so much for everything, and I'll see you guys in the next video.